Hi, writers. Happy Monday Morning Jumpstart. I am Jade, Trueblood, Director of Training, rejoined by Katie Yeakle, Executive Director. Hi, Katie Yeakle.
Hi, Jade. Hi, everybody. Thank you for inviting me back.
Listen, Katie, anytime you want. We were talking about something very important. We started last week. AWAI has released a manifesto. If you have not seen that, awai.com/manifesto. We talked about the importance of it, why we released it, and something just as important at the end. And it's the
Yes.
beliefs of AWAI. And Katie was talking about not only the beliefs, but what we know to be true. So, Katie, if you're ready, do you want to dive into the second half of that?
I do, but I also just want to stress that part of the reason we're having this conversation is to start conversations about them. And these beliefs really are at the heart and soul of what AWAI is, and it's at the heart and soul of the people that we attract.
Yes.
And so I'm so excited to be talking about these because I want to know if they resonate with you. I want to know if you believe in these too. And so that's why I'm just really glad we're having these conversations.
And not to extend the tease any longer, but I also wanted to add that we have seen that when writers embody these beliefs, that they
Yeah,
get results, right, Katie? It makes an actual change.
1000%.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So to dive back in, we believe in the power of choosing your own path, and we believe that your writing life should fit into the life that you want. I mean, that sounds lovely, and it sounds like something everybody would say, yes, I want. But how can you feel that, Katie? How have we seen that? What have we seen over the last 30 years when it comes to this?
Well, again, these skills just free up all those constraints of traditional jobs. I mean,
Hmm.
we actually coined the phrase the writer's life because of the notion of creating this life of your choice with flexibility and fulfillment and mobility if you want it, all of and fulfillment. I know I
Hmm.
just keep coming back to that word.
I agree.
And so there isn't one path for anyone. There's this is not cookie cutter, and that is something that our members have showed us
Hmm.
in so many wild and exciting ways. And we all of everybody involved in AWAI from the very beginning has known that we were creating something that was going to give people options for new and more fulfilling lifestyles.
Yeah.
And we all live it, and we have been so encouraged and excited about how you guys have taken this concept and really made it your own. For instance, the whole when we talk about 9 to 5, it's not just the actual hours of working. When you're working 9 to 5 for somebody else, there's so much you can't control. You honestly can't control how long you're going to have the job. You can't control who you're working with. You can't control, some of these other just facts of that world.
Hmm.
And part of what we've always embraced and shined lights on and have given people access to are ways to avoid that, of
Hmm.
ways of not having to have, bosses you don't like, of not having to have commutes you might not like, of not having to have, just
A cubicle life.
the whole cubicle life.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I know I'm going on and on. I mean,
No,
because
it's so
this
important.
really is big because it's it's just not one thing. It is
Hmm.
all about what works for you. And there are plenty of our members that do like the 9 to 5, like working for a company, like that structure, and that's fine too.
Hmm.
But with this skill, you just have so many options.
Yeah. And that's where fulfillment comes in because if you have fulfillment there and you want to just add to, then you can add to, right? And that
Exactly.
for me, in my 10 years at AWI has been one of the biggest don't know if lessons is the right word, but it was like aha, right? Where it was like, yes, we have writer's life, and some people might think, well, that is being a millionaire and living on the beach and toes in the sand and all those things, right? But no, for some people, it's vacation money, right? Just having extra money to have vacation. For some people, it's
Retirement
retirement.
money.
Yes, exactly. For some people, it is like wanting to work as much, but in a new, completely different career, right? So I think
Yeah.
on this point, if you have a preconceived notion of what writer's life is where you should stop, pause, wait, and listen, and define for yourself, like, what do you want in your life? What would bring you fulfillment? What control, what do in your day do you want to be able to control, right? Um,
Right.
and define that before even embarking on the learning part, because I think having that clear picture changes everything that comes afterwards. And that's where the belief that you can define that is so huge.
So huge. It's funny. In our last session, I talked about, something we got some grief about when we first started, and that
Yes.
was, that we could actually teach people this skill. Well, another thing we got grief about is on the very first iteration of our copywriting program, we had like a sketch, a watercolor of a man sitting on a beach with a notebook, and it's not a computer notebook,
Yeah.
like writing at the beach. And we're like, nobody does that. And and they get all sandy, and you can't you can't see the screen, all of the, I mean, it was so silly. But and again, we weren't talking that that's what you literally do.
Literally.
It's
Yes.
just the whatever that represents for
Yes.
you.
Yes,
And so,
exactly.
what I'd like to ask our viewers is, what kind of freedom are you craving right now?
Hmm.
If you could create this kind of life, what would it actually look like? And how can you start on your path to get there? And I'm not asking that lightly. I mean, I really would like you to take some time and think about that. And what would a fulfilling day look like for you?
Hmm.
What would a uh, yeah, my niece is interviewing for a job, and they asked her, when you look at your W-2 at the end of the year, what number is going to make you think, this was a good year? Like, I worked hard and I've been compensated well. What is that for you? And how can we help you on that path, your specific path of getting there?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And that's why we love doing what we do, because we get to help
We
people
do.
make that happen.
We do.
And another big part of why we love what we do is community, and the AWI community, who is the absolute best. So we have a belief. I think
It's
it's all,
it's what's a word that's stronger than a belief?
yeah,
It
it's
is
an
our blood, it's our
embodiment,
core.
a
Yeah.
soul. It's probably the heartbeat, right? I would say it's probably
Yes.
the heartbeat
Yes.
of AWAI is community, because I mean, I know the belief is for writers and that writers need community. I think humans need community, and we all know that. But because this is such like a unique world, and once you enter it, June, you only truly understand it, right? That it
Yeah.
feels like the need for community is even deeper, because you want people to understand you and what you're going through, good, bad, ugly, all the things, right? So,
Yep.
Katie, I mean, maybe you can speak to in the last 30 years how you've seen the community of
Oh,
AWAI
oh
blossom
my
and
gosh. I can't, the friendships, like
mm,
lifelong friendships now. We've had a couple of marriages.
yes.
The business partnerships,
Mm,
I mean, people saying they're like brothers or like sisters, it is the strongest group of supportive people. And
mm,
it comes from this sense that there's enough for everybody,
yes.
and so everybody's willing to share. It comes from our um, principle, our
Mm,
belief of constantly paying it forward, of constantly teaching the next generation, of holding the hand out to the one coming up. And, it's a special group. It's a special generosity within this world that I am so incredibly proud of.
mm,
I can't even tell you what that means to me to see it in action.
mhm.
Um, The community's great. And, it's funny because you and I were actually talking to a member earlier, and she was saying how, her husband didn't really believe this was true. And,
Mhm.
I've heard that from other people, or, like a spouse or a parent, or, like, oh, I don't even believe this is true. But I was surprised hearing it from her in one case because she's had such great success now. But just like, I don't even really think about that as being an issue anymore. But I just want to, and now he's
All on
her
board.
biggest
Yeah.
fan. He's on the bandwagon. He couldn't be more proud of her. But it took a little bit, a little education, a little actually seeing it
Proof.
come to life, proof. Yeah. So my question for you is, who in your corner do you have right now that is supporting you, that gets it, that's
Mhm.
part of your tribe?
Mhm.
And nurture that relationship. It's really important. I can't stress that enough. And if there is a naysayer, I would be aware of that. I would not give them a whole lot of oxygen or
Mhm.
energy or space. You don't need any clouds on this journey. There's going to be some bumps. It's not a straight road, but
Mhm.
you definitely want people supporting you. And again, what would it be like to be among this group? I have a feeling that these listeners, yeah, like you guys particular, are an active part of our community,
Agree.
and I want to thank you for that.
Yes.
And keep doing what you're doing. And if you haven't checked out our Facebook groups or been on any of our live events, do it.
Yeah.
It's just they're just so fun.
It
It's
is.
just great.
It's again, it goes back to how AWI was built, right? With
Yes.
teaching and sharing, and the principle
Yep.
of that lives on in the communities, and it's
and
excellent.
and helping and
Mm-hmm.
cheerleading.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's the best part of my job is, oh
Yeah.
my gosh. And when we get a win, Jade, when a member writes in, we send it to the whole company. We
Mm-hmm.
we shout it out from the rooftops. I mean, we couldn't be more excited. It's really as if it is happening for us as well.
Agree. Agree. Well, the last two that we have, we believe you have the right to learn on your terms,
Yeah.
and we believe that writing is a bold step towards a better, freer life. So, I mean, Katie, we don't take any of this lightly, right? We don't take
No.
learning lightly. We don't take the decision to make a change lightly.
We don't
We
take your
take,
investment
I
lightly.
was going, yes,
Believe
yes.
me that we understand how hard you work for your money, and we understand the promise that we're making you,
Mm-hmm.
and the what we're showing you is possible. But we know that not everybody learns the same way.
Mm-hmm.
We know that people do need to find a system that works for them. And that's why some people prefer our home study courses that they can just do on their own. Other people get the most out of our live trainings where these expert driven kind of condensed sessions, maybe
Yes.
6 weeks, 8 week sessions.
Holding you accountable live type of thing.
Exactly, exactly. Everybody loves the feedback. We know that works
Mm-hmm.
for everybody. So, that's something that's a mainstay in most of our programs. So, I think the takeaway from this, or that what I'd like you to take away, is to really ask yourself, how do you learn best?
Mm-hmm.
And let's see what we have. I'm sure we have something that fits that for you.
Yeah. I mean, because talk about heartbeat of AWAI, we have an amazing team that is always willing to help you to figure that out, right? If you need help figuring out what you want to study, what you want to learn, what fits best for you, we have an entire team that is here to help you always.
Always.
That's
Our guidance
accessible.
team is phenomenal. Our member
Yes.
success team is phenomenal. And they've all been with us for, you know, years and years.
Yes. Yes.
I years and years and years.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of that as well.
Yeah.
We have a very um, seasoned group here. We have great longevity among our team.
Yeah. And now let's talk about the words bold and freer, right? Because those are big words, Katie.
Right, right.
Um, so I mean, taking on anything new is a lot, right? But this is
Hmm.
potentially a whole new life and a whole new career, um, which can seem daunting, but we see it as a positive and we see it as freedom, right?
Yes. You know what? Just as you said that, what jumped into my mind was the
Mm,
word momentum.
mm,
When we say bold step and freer life, let's let's shoot for momentum. Let's just get that first step going and let's build on that.
yes,
And also build on that. So, and then I think you'll find that the bold and freer happens, but
yes.
it all starts with, you know, that first step, or
You,
wherever you are, the next step. I
you,
shouldn't assume that everyone's just starting. I know there's plenty of you that are, established and making great strides. But I think it's really important to always be focused on what that next step is.
and it's bold to just believe in these, right, Katie?
Yes. Yes. I think
That's all.
bold comes from within. I don't
Yes.
think it's like you have to. I think the
Um,
act of doing any of these is
yes.
bold.
Yes.
I don't think you say, I'm going to make a bold move. I think bold is a result of doing all of these.
And I think it's the belief that you are deserving of more and you're deserving of better and you're deserving of the life that you desire and defining it on your own terms. And we just see ourselves as a vehicle to get you there, right?
100%. You got to do the work.
Yes. Yes.
But we have 30 years of knowing first, having a front row seat of what works and what doesn't work. But again, it's going to be what works for you.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I'd like you to take away from this particular we believe statement is, what's one thing you can do today to keep moving forward, to either keep the momentum going or to jumpstart that momentum.
Agree. And again, we're here for you if you need help with any of that. We have
Absolutely.
so many resources, an amazing team. Like it sounds big, but literally anything you need, we have it in some way, shape, or form on our side. And we have Katie Yeakle. So thank you so much, Katie Yeakle. It has been so
Sure.
fun talking with you and
Oh, well,
getting through this.
I could go on and on and on. I
Yeah.
love this and I'm happy to have this platform to let you know, to share with you the things that we believe for us, but we believe for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm here cheering you on, and we all are here cheering you on. And I believe that all of these things are just going to make your life richer and more fulfilling.
I agree. Well, what a beautiful note to end on. Everybody will see you next week. Katie, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jade. Bye, everybody.